Legislation to double the state and local tax deduction cap, which is also known as SALT, is expected to get a procedural vote later today in the House. Our next guest has been spearheading that battle to raise the cap to $20,000 for joint filers making under $500,000 a year. And joining us right now is Democratic Congressman representing New Jersey, Josh Gottheimer, who also co-chairs the SALT Caucus and the Problem Solvers Caucus, too. Congressman, thank you very much for being with us this morning. From what I've heard,
Thanks,
this
Becky.
vote is...
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. From what I've heard, this vote is not expected to pass because there are congresspeople both on the Republican side and the Democratic side that oppose it.
Well, we're working around the clock right now to make sure the procedural motions get done, but more importantly, that we get to a vote on the actual bill. You're battling red staters, the moocher states who initially gutted the state and local tax deduction in 2017, as you know, and capped it off at $10,000. This would double it to $20,000 for married couples. A down payment, of course, to the ultimate goal, which is in 22 months to get the full deduction back when the 2017 tax hike bill expires, and we can get the full SALT deduction back and bring tax cuts to a lot of middle-class families who need it.
The Tax Foundation, which is a nonpartisan organization, says that this proposed increase in the cap is not great. They say it would increase the budget deficit, create new tax cliffs, and they point out that it is regressive. Your response to that?
Well, we know that SALT, the reason we had SALT deduction in the first place is to avoid double taxation, to getting taxed twice on the same income. And so I have, of course, always mentioned that to them. I'm totally against double taxation. And more importantly, this helps middle-class families and supports states like mine that, frankly, pay far more into the federal kitty than others. We know that these other states, I affectionately call moocher states, pay far less in, and they have, of course, lower property taxes, but they don't do as much for the people they represent. In Jersey, we've got great schools and roads and bridges and take care of people. And the bottom line is, I believe, for middle-class families, they deserve a tax break. They deserve to avoid double taxation. And, of course, delivering this deduction will do that.
The red states argument, or as you like to call them, the moocher states, has always been that, look, you all have the ability to lower your tax base, that you're doing it to provide benefits, as you mentioned, schools, bridges, and other things. But just because New Jersey is providing those things shouldn't mean that you get a payback from the federal government when it comes to it.
No, and my answer to always my friends over there is to say, listen, if you are Louisiana and you get half your state budget from the federal government, or you Mississippi and you get $4.38 back for every dollar you pay into the federal government, why don't you just agree to not take more than $1 for what you pay in? In Jersey, we only get 67 cents back historically for every dollar we pay in. So if we even everything out, that's one argument, but they don't want that. They want to keep taking from Jersey taxpayers and take it to them. So my argument is just fine. Take no more than 1-to-1, and we'll have conversations. But until then, the least we can do is avoid double taxation, get lower taxes for families in Jersey, and get some relief back, given how much we pay to support their incomes in Mississippi and Alabama, in Oklahoma and other places like that.
Well, when you talk about double taxation, there are a lot of people here in the tri-state area who are looking at the New York City congestion plan, which will charge $15 for people coming into Midtown in New York City, after they've already paid $15 to $20 to come across one of the bridges or tolls if you're coming from outside. Looks like that plan's going through anyway.
I haven't been shy about that. I mean, right? It's more than $15. They also, New York wants to charge a congestion tax of 15 plus a 25% more for days they consider on surge pricing, and they want to be able to raise the rates 10% in the first year and this year. They're trying to move ahead. We've got many lawsuits to try to stop them, bringing up the realities of more pollution, which the MTA admits this will cause more pollution. It will cause more congestion, and it hurts hardworking families, nurses, electricians, all these people who have to drive into the city every day. It's outrageous, Becky. And by the way, in the end, if they do go ahead, you know what it means for Jersey? More people are going to encourage them to stay in Jersey. We're going to take New York's jobs, bring them to Jersey, because people aren't going to be able to afford to do that commute.
Well, that's certainly been New York's response. Take it or leave it. Go away if you don't want it.
Yeah, but the New York businesses keep complaining about it. They're some of the biggest detractors of it because they want people from Jersey and other places to be able to afford to come into New York and shop there and bring their families in and support their economy. So they're the ones who are actually complaining the most and saying, please don't do this. At a time we're trying to get people back into New York to work in New York and support their economy, they're actually jacking taxes up on people in an unaffordable way. So you've got a lot of people who are standing up to the MTA, which is the mass transit system in New York, one of the worst run mass transit systems in the country, and they blew $700 million last year to people who didn't pay to ride. Right? They blew $1 billion recently on a subway station they built that was too big. It's such a mess. They need our money to fix their problems. They should take care of their own problems instead of blaming everybody else for their woeful mismanagement. That's what we keep saying to them. Like, listen, I know you've got problems. Fix your own problems instead of looking to other people to solve them for you.
Josh, back to the SALT vote. Odds that you think it will get passed. And then if it doesn't, what happens in 22 months? When it's set to expire, but there will probably be some movement to bring some sort of tax plan around.
Well, you would hope the Republican leadership wouldn't bring their own bill to the floor if they didn't think it could pass, right? So, but then again, things are a bit of a little difficult on their side these days in getting things done. So you would hope they wouldn't do that. If it doesn't work out, and we can't double it from $10,000 to $20,000, which, Becky, is only 1 grain of salt. I want the whole salt shaker back. In 22 months, the tax bill expires, 2017 tax bill expires, the full deduction comes back unless new legislation is passed. Given how difficult it would be to pass that legislation, I'm very optimistic we'll get the full deduction back. Many of us have been fighting for this for years. We've passed it 4 times out of the House. It keeps running into the red state senators who refuse to pass it. But in 22 months, the full deduction will come back. I'm not very optimistic about that. And we'll finally get some tax cuts for families that deserve it, not just in Jersey, but in the tri-state area and, of course, around the country.